All right, I guess we're live to YouTube.
All right, we are live on YouTube.
Yep.
All right. And again, we will take questions throughout this process. So if everybody could stay muted, that way everybody can be heard and we can get the material done when people have questions. All right. Again, the agenda is posted on the classroom, so you should have access to that. And we will get started here momentarily, in about 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Doise. This is week 1 of Apple app development with SwiftUI. This is a 26-week course, and it's going to be pretty informal. I don't want to make things too rigid and things like that, but at the same time, I want us to go through the material, and by the end of this, we're going to create some pretty amazing applications that run on an iPhone, and all of this will be done accessibly, but also have some really good design. This course is designed for all audiences. We have a lot of blind and low vision students in the class. We have, I'm pretty sure, some sighted individuals as well that will be taking the class. So we have a very mixed audience here. And I'll go into a little bit about my background. Like I said, my name is Michael Doise. I have been an iOS developer since 2010, 2011. And I have been coding apps for most of that time. And app development is a passion of mine. And one of my passions is to share what's possible in building mobile apps, and not just mobile apps, but also Mac apps and iPad apps. There will be a lot of conversation during this course about app development, what makes a good app, and why we recommend doing things the way we do them with native apps and not using other platforms like React and similar things there. You'll get to know my opinions quite heavily as we go through this. So I will leave that to be observed as we go through the course. I am really passionate about Apple platforms. I'll tell the story, throughout the class of how I started on Apple platforms and why I got an iPhone. But needless to say, this has been in the works for 3 months, and we did a class last year on using Swift Playgrounds to build mobile apps. It was a 10-week course, and we got through a good amount of concepts. And I'll leave a link if you want to watch that to kind of get caught up and get, where you are. If you want to watch those lessons, it'll let you get ahead of everybody else. So those are some things that you can do. But I've always wanted to teach others how to build apps. And we'll talk about AI and how all of those things work together for this. So you'll get to see how a lot of that works together. We do promote AI in this class. We will not keep you from using it. However, in the areas where we're teaching Swift, we highly encourage that you not. Taylor, why don't you introduce yourself, talk about your app development journey, and we'll go from there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and I am a teaching assistant for this course. I have been developing apps for almost a year. I was one of the students who finished the SwiftUI class last year, and I learned a lot. And ever since then, I've been developing a lot of apps. Professionally, I work for Michael Doise's company, Techopolis Online Solutions, where I serve as the Chief Accessibility Officer, and I also do operations and AI as well. And I like AI, I like app development, and I also like to share my knowledge with others so that everybody else can be empowered to build solutions that will work for them. And you definitely will get to know me and my story again throughout the rest of this class.
Thank you, Taylor. And um, we have another person that will be coming in. If I don't believe she's here yet, Becky Knob will be our host for these classes to help out with hand raises and those kind of things. I think she had something come up that she wasn't able to be here just yet. But we will continue, and I'm sure she'll be in later on. So let's talk about some things that you will need, some prerequisites, if you will. I'm going to kind of bring the prerequisites and the introduction all together here as one item. To complete this class, you're going to need a device that is either an iPad that can run Swift Playgrounds, and all you need to do is download it from the iPad OS, the App Store, and install Swift Playgrounds. And or to get the most from this class, you're going to need Xcode. You can do much of the work that is going to be given in this class if you have an iPad. However, you can't do it all. And that's unfortunate. I wish they had Xcode for iPad because that would be amazing. But for example, Swift Playgrounds on iPad, from my understanding, can only make iOS and iPad OS versions of apps. So you're going to be limited to those platforms. You cannot make Apple Watch apps, and you cannot make Mac apps with Swift Playgrounds. So those are some things to keep in mind. And there's certain capabilities that even on iOS and iPadOS that you cannot do in Swift Playgrounds. And that, to me, is unfortunate. But that is the constraints that we have to live with. Okay? An iPhone will not work. A very old Mac will not work. And by very old, I mean it has to be able to run. You have to be able to download Xcode from the Mac App Store. That is the requirement. Okay? So as long as you can download Xcode, you are going to be fine in this course. What about software? Well, we just mentioned it. Xcode or Swift Playgrounds. Both of those applications will be very beneficial in this course, okay? If you do not have those, then you cannot technically run the apps you create. So, of course, you'll need Zoom, which you're already on, and you'll basically just need a computer. So those are the prerequisites for the course. Um, but there's a few other things that I want to mention. The way that we're going to handle all of these is we want people to stay muted unless we call for questions, and we'll do that in just a few moments to see if anybody would have questions about this. But Taylor, I would like you to talk about office hours. What is the plan for office hours for the course?
That is a great question. What I will say before I actually talk about that is we know that students, may need help, but we also know that students may want to talk and to get to know each other and, have that camaraderie as being in a group class. So office hours are a great place to do that for you to either get help or to, talk to others or to do both. And so office hours will be held during the course. My temporary plan, actually most likely at this point, will be Monday and Wednesday nights. So remember, opposite nights of the class or opposite night of the class. They will probably start at 6 or 7 Central Time, and they'll probably be for 2 or 3 hours each night. And I may have some weekend as well. Now, if you're in another country or you for some reason can't make those office hours, don't be afraid to contact me or Michael and we can figure out other times that work for you because we want to make sure that every student will get the support that they need to be successful. And it will be a really great time. So even if you don't have questions, you can still hop into office hours and maybe even pick up some more tidbits along the way.
Another thing I want to mention is that we have a Google Meet link for the class in Google Classroom. So people can feel free to use that as well if you want to gather and talk, even if we're not available. So you could just leave a message in the class and say, hey, I'm going to be jumping into the Google Meet or the Zoom to discuss, whatever topic that you're trying to learn. And, we don't always have to be there for office hours.
That's
Um,
correct.
Taylor will be primarily running those. I may jump in from time to time. Um, but I want that to be your time where you can talk to each other, ask questions, and work through the course material because the key to learning this stuff, guys, is problem solving, coming up with your own
Yes.
solutions. Because I could tell you guys how to do something all day, but it is really up to you as people trying to get into computer programming and development to come up with your own methods for solving a problem. Okay? So that's office hours. Let's talk about the format of the course. Okay? We're going to basically cover topics and then we will take questions after each topic. Questions will be done by order of hand raise, so we'll monitor those. And we don't guarantee that we'll always get to chats. I want to thank Lauren for getting some of the chat messages early on before we started. And we will try to monitor that as best we can. So, the rest of the class format. How are we going to handle this? Well, because we have two groups, some that are visual sighted users, we will be doing part of the demos visually and part of the demos non-visually. So I will be showing off how to do something visually, and then Taylor will be doing the same with voiceover. Now, I want to make it well known that I'm not the best with voiceover. I can help out in a pinch, but a lot of this is going to be based on you having the skills to navigate if you hear something that we tell you to do so you could find it with VoiceOver. You need to have already good VoiceOver knowledge in coming to this class. I guess that's another prerequisite. We will not have the time to sit down with folks to go over how to use VoiceOver navigation. We'll sit down and say, okay, how do I get to the issues navigator? See, you've already been exposed to one term. How do I get to the issues navigator? Okay, you would do this and that. And what you're going to want to do is to basically go in and look at the material after it has been posted, which that made me, the reason why I stopped there is because the YouTube stream is going to have to be our recording for the day. Because I realized I paused the recording before we started and did not resume. So there's a lot of things that you have to get going when these things start. So we will download the video from YouTube and we will put it on Google Classroom. See, well, it's always good to have a backup recording in any podcast that you do, or class, or other thing you're doing. A backup recording is always something you should do for this very reason.
Yep, and systems that work together are also very easy to use. So
right. So you know that actually the neat thing is, oh, you know what? That's actually brilliant because we're using Google Classroom. We could
just
take
embed it.
Yeah, we could just embed that in the class. That's really cool.
Yep. See, this is what happens.
Right. So a little bit on the fly workshopping there, folks. So what we have to do is we're going to be showing how to do things visually, and then Taylor will be showing you the same thing non-visually. You're going to need to use the office hours if you'd like more help. It's going to be key. As the course goes on, there will be assignments each week, and I will post those assignments, and we'll have one tonight, so don't think that the first class doesn't have an assignment. So get ready for that. It might just be a quiz. It might be something small, but there will be an assignment that will come out. And so get ready for that. The assignments are technically optional, but if you're going to get the most from this class, I would highly recommend doing them because it will allow you to really reinforce your learning. Okay. So I think we've gone over quite a bit of material already for an introduction and where we're going to go as far as that. I will say I'm going to go over real quick. What can you expect from this course? When you finish all 26 weeks of this course, you will learn, we have 3 weeks of going through Xcode. We're going to start that tonight. So we have 3 weeks of looking at Xcode. We have 7 weeks of learning Swift, not even building user interfaces, but just learning to use Swift. Okay. So that includes programming concepts like strings, print statement, conditional logic, if and switch, loops, functions. Then we're going to get into some more of the advanced stuff that you may not see much in other languages. Optionals, which are not optional, by the way. We're going to have enums. We're going to have structs. We're going to have classes. We're going to have all of these concepts that you're going to have to learn before SwiftUI is going to make sense. The goal of that 7 weeks, we could take probably 20 weeks just on learning Swift alone, folks, okay? But the goal of this is to get you where you need to be with Swift programming so that you can get started. Another resource I'm going to put in the classroom is a website from Paul Hudson, who is a visual teacher, but he does great work. He does a course in a website called Hacking with Swift. And on that website, he has a course called 100 Days of Swift UI. And a lot of what we're going to do is going to be kind of based on loosely on that. So if you want to get ahead, study his materials. He has videos, he has a lot of text. So it's a great resource if that's, a way that would help reinforce your learning. Okay. All right. I would like to take this opportunity to see if anybody has any questions. And so if you have a question, raise your hand and we will take any questions you have.
Hi, Mike and Taylor Arndt.
Please,
I'm JJ from India.
please raise your hand before unmuting. I don't see anybody else, but let's keep to the format of the call here. All right. Go ahead.
I'm JJ from India. So at present I am planning to buy my new iPad. So I am wondering whether your playground work with A17 processor iPad mini. I'm planning to buy an iPad mini.
So an iPad mini will work with the Swift Playgrounds app, but one thing to keep in mind is any iPad, you can use that with a Bluetooth keyboard, but you want to make sure that you can use a keyboard with this, as writing all of that code with a touchscreen would be quite difficult.
So which Bluetooth keyboard do you recommend? Anything? Any good model?
I do not have a good recommendation because I use an iPad Pro with a Magic Keyboard. So I do not have a good recommendation for that.
So did you test this Swift Playground with the iPad mini 17 processor? Is it okay, or do I have to go ahead with the M3?
Well, if it's the latest iPad mini, it will work, but you can always find out. You would have to look at the App Store, but I would recommend if you can get the better iPad, go with the better iPad. And the reason is that the lower the processor is, the more it's going to struggle on running your code.
So which do you highly recommend?
Any of the M series chips. That is always the way to go.
M series chip. Okay. And I have a Mac also. I'm getting a Mac. So if can I go ahead with that also? M3 processor.
Yes. Any M
Is that
processor
okay?
Mac will work.
Okay. M3 processor will be okay. Am I right?
Yes. I have an M3 Max, and so that's what I use as my Mac.
Then I will be good to go on that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because I am just ordering my hardware. That is why I am asking. Thank you. I appreciate.
No problem. Okay. Any other hands that would like to ask questions? Okay. All right. Seeing none. Okay. So once we get past, learning Swift, we're going to go into SwiftUI. That's 10 weeks. And then we will have 6 weeks of advanced topics. What does that mean? Well, it means we're going to talk about how to create AI chatbots with Apple Intelligence. We're going to talk about how to distribute your app, how to get help with creating an app icon, how to use TestFlight, and all of these other areas. Okay. So we have a very action-packed course ready for you folks, and I hope you enjoy it. Another rule is we allot 2 hours for this course, okay? But if we don't use all of the time, we're not going to force you guys to stay the whole time. That is not something that we're going to make you guys do. And again, if you want more information, you can always come to office hours if we didn't expand enough. The goal of this is to, I mean, it's a lot for us as instructors to put this together, but 2 hours is a lot of time for you guys have to sit through. Okay, so I totally understand how you can get class fatigue. So the goal of this is not only to be educational, but also to be fun. We do try to keep things to a good order, but it is not something that we want to make so rigid and cumbersome that you don't want to do it. Okay. The reason why we got into app development is not because it makes money. I mean, that is a big part of this, but it's also fun. You're basically taking an empty screen, a canvas, if you will, and yes, there actually is a canvas in Xcode. You're taking that empty canvas and you're painting what you want on that campus, that canvas, so that you can make what you have in your mind come to life. Or maybe you're working for somebody and they say, I need this created. Okay. So then you are able to say, this is the app I want. Or like I said, if you're working for somebody, then you can say, this person says, here's what I want, and then you're able to go do it. So let's talk about why native app development. And I'm sure everybody is, that knows me says, well, here we go. Native app development allows for apps to really be what they should be. They allow for your software to take advantage of all of the features and options that come on your device out of the box, and you don't have to wait for a framework to update to support that. For example, React may not have the latest features compared to what you get with a native app or Ionic. And these are ways of building apps that use JavaScript and web technologies. Okay. When you build with native app development, you can let your full potential, come through with what you create, and you don't have to spend as much time trying to make workarounds for features that are not fully supported in that platform. Now, the drawbacks of doing this is the fact that you have to make two code bases, one for iOS and one for Android. That is a pain. But, we have this thing called AI now. So once you create one on one platform, you can most likely get AI to do a lot of the conversion to the other. There is no excuse anymore for having to use a platform that uses web technologies to build a good mobile app. It is now feasible to build a better, higher quality native app and not have to touch any web code, any JavaScript. You just have to learn the tools for the platform to know how to work with AI and your own design skills to make this happen. Okay. Now, let's start by talking about what do we need to do to get started. Well, one of the things that helps is to have an iPhone. And this only counts if you're going to be developing on a Mac. Okay. In the before times, this didn't exist. But now you have to enable what is called developer mode on your iPhone. Okay. And I'll put up a handout after class that will show how this is done. Frankly, all you have to do is plug in your phone to a computer running Xcode, and I believe find it in the organizer or devices area, and then typically what I've done is try to run an app that I've created, and you could create any blank app, and we'll show how to do that later. But you basically just tell it to try to run. It'll say register device, and it will say that you need to enable developer mode on your device. Okay. And then what you'll do is that tells your device, hey, you need to offer the option for developer mode. It does not show up until you do this.
Right.
So it will show up under the privacy section in iOS. And so you have to do that on every device that you want to use in as development. So I'm going to have Taylor demonstrate this in just a moment. But the biggest thing is we'll demonstrate how this works in just a few moments. But the biggest thing with this is you just need to make sure you have a Mac, you create a new project, plug in your phone, and start that process. One of the things you also need to do as well is go to developer.apple.com and register your Apple ID, your Apple account. They don't call it Apple ID anymore. Register your Apple account as a developer. So you register your device as a developer, and then what will happen there is you can start the process of working with Xcode as a developer. Taylor, I know you know the limits. What are the limits as a free developer account?
The limit of a free developer account, because yes, I've had one in the past time, you can only have 3 projects on your phone. So say if you made 3 apps, app 1, app 2, app 3, that's great. But then you decide tomorrow I want to make a 4th app. It will say, nope, you can't do that. So you can only have 3 apps that you made on your phone at once. You can also only create, I want to say 10 or 12 like projects in like a week or 2-week time frame. I cannot exactly remember. And of course, you cannot distribute your apps to the App Store or TestFlight for beta testing as a free developer user.
So the main point of this is you can use a free developer account to get started, but you either need to pay $100 a year to become a certified Apple developer, or you need to become a or work with a development team. Now, something that we do here for the course, if you get far enough along where we see that you're making progress on your assignments, we will actually allow you to use your we can get your Apple ID on your permission, of course, and add it to the Techopolis online developer account as a user, and you can start, testing your apps and doing things like that. And that's going to be very useful, especially for your final projects. For the final projects, we will allow people to work solo, or if you want to team up, you can do that as well. So be thinking about what you want to do as time goes on. Okay? So, because I already have all of my devices registered as a developer, Taylor, do you want to do a demo showing, because you just got a new phone, so
That's correct.
why don't we show folks first off how to register, like to initiate the developer mode process. You don't need to share your phone screen because it will have you restart your phone anyway, so that's kind of
Pointless.
pointless. So we'll show what you have to do on the Mac to get that started, which I believe starts with plugging in your phone, and then after that, Taylor will walk you through the process that she's doing with her phone.
Do you want me to share it with speech or without, Michael?
Let's go ahead and share it with speech.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I thought I hit the mute button, so. All right.
Zoom share toolbar. Zoom.
You can speed it up a little bit more.
Okay. Hold on. Let me stop sharing real quick so I can speed it up. Yeah, I wanted to make sure. I tried to get it set before class, so hold on just 1 second.
Mute.
Hey, at least it wasn't too fast. That was fine. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep it at 45. That should be fine. So let me.
Zoom.
Is this good?
Zoom. Us.
Have it say something else. It seems still a little slow.
It's at 45.
Mute audio. Start with.
Okay. Maybe maybe 50. Let's put it at 50.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on a second. Me. Where to keep? Hold on. Okay. All right.
Zoom share.
Is this better?
Zoom.
That is much better.
Us as.
Okay. I had to reset my Mac today, y'all. So I was like, well, I usually have this set up beforehand. Okay. So I just plugged in my Mac, or sorry, my phone to my Mac rather. And I'm going to open up Xcode. So I'm going to go ahead, of course, before you add your device to your account, you want to make sure that you're signed in first. That's always an important step. So if you have a new version of Xcode you just installed, you're going to go to the preferences with command comma and you're going to sign in. I just did this. So I'm now going to open up Xcode because I just closed it so I could show you the whole process. I'm just going to do command shift.
Mute my audio.
Oh, let me get out of the Zoom window here.
Calendar. Now and.
I'm just going to do command shift A.
Where's Xcode? App open.
Here's Xcode.
Xcode.
Okay. And here is the Xcode. Do you want me to create a project real quick, Michael? Or just do it?
Well, first off, you have a system dialog from Zoom. Zoom loves their windows that hover on top of things.
Oh, right. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. Maybe if I can actually press the right. Hold on a second. Okay. Awesome. All right. Let me get rid of that real quick. Maybe not. I pressed the right buttons, but hold on just 1 second. Wow.
VOF2, F2.
Yeah, I did. Hold on. Let me. Something's going on here.
Xcode. Zoom.
Okay. I just. Wow. What the world? Okay. Hold on 1 second. It could be because I'm connected with a magic keyboard in the studio display. It's just not letting me close them.
Yeah, it's a dialogue talking about how you could use your phone as a secondary camera. And I think one of the things that happens with a lot of these applications is when I opened the chat, it had 5 or 6 different. Here's what you could do new with chat, and that's great and everything until you're actually trying to use the software. And I think that they don't realize that that stuff gets in the way.
There's actually 3 system dialogues. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I had to, when I did it through the magic keyboard, it wouldn't let me open the system dialogues. It wasn't registering, so I had to open the magic keyboard. So hopefully when I close the lid of my studio display, it won't get me out of Zoom.
On your Mac. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Is this better? Let me reshare the screen. I am so sorry about that, folks.
Zoom.
Is this better?
You have started screen share.
Yes, that is better. So you have a blank Xcode window. So go ahead and show creating a project, and then we'll just pick a basic app and get going there. And so then we'll register the device.
All right, so we'll show you how to do this. I'm going to
Finder. Xcode.
use my
Xcode.
Xcode.
Open existing.
Trying to make sure it's minimized.
Versions. X applicate. Close.
Okay, we're good. So I'm going to press I could do Command Shift N,
Now in window.
maybe.
Scroll area.
Okay, so here is new project.
Template filter field. Filter. Search text field.
So my voiceover focus landed on this template field for the search. I'm gonna go right,
Scroll area.
interact.
And scroll area. 3 items. Template chooser. Collection. 1 item selected. Template chooser. And template document app.
So I've got document app. We'll talk about all of this later, but for the purposes of this, I'm gonna select the app template.
App.
Now I have had a voiceover bug in this recent Xcode where if I select app, it will actually select document app. Michael, did it select app or document app? Because I think there's a bug here, so I'm not sure.
You have app selected.
Okay, good. So there is that bug, and I think I'm doing the right thing here.
Out of section.
Getting out of that.
Framework and library section.
We're not going to cover that right now, unless you want to talk about that, Michael. Framework and library.
Now, when you went out of that section, it does look like it may have deselected potentially the app. I wonder if you go back to that and press enter on it instead of VO space.
Application section.
Got it.
App. Application text. App. Product.
Okay, I pressed enter.
And that did what it's supposed to do. It brought us to where you can now give your product, your app, the name and all of those details. So let's go ahead and go through this. The product name, which was what Taylor is on, is for your app's name. So we're going to just call this My Test App.
All right. And let's see, I'm just gonna do.
My.
Do you want me to use spaces?
Yep.
Make
Test.
sure I get the capitalized.
App.
Okay.
App.
My test app. I'm gonna go VO right.
None. Team. Pop-up button.
So here's the team. And the team is for like your developer team. So it's like where you work or your personal developer account. I have many of these in my team picker, but you will probably only have 1, maybe max 2. Is that good, Michael? Do you want me to keep selecting the team?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to VO space.
Menu. 4 items. Check mark none.
I'm going to press up arrow because mine is at the very bottom of the list. Hopefully I don't have to read all of them.
Taylor Arndt. Personal team.
That's not it.
Techopolis Online Solutions, LLC.
This one's it though. So the reason I pressed up arrow here is that way I wouldn't have to go through all of the teams in my list because I have a lot. And I could just skip to the very end of them. Okay,
Well,
so
you have three. You have three. And you
I
start at the
do.
top of the list, actually. And so you went to the bottom of the list and you're going up, which makes sense because you're looking for T anyway. So
Yes.
because it goes in a circle, you can just up arrow to get to the last item in the list, which Techopolis is, very near the last of the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not going to select my personal team. There's no point. So I'm going to press enter.
Techopolis Online Solutions, LLC.
That's good. Make sure that's selected on that, not something else. Let me go VO right.
Organization Identifier. Edit text.
Okay, so this is blank. And what this is the identifier for your organization. And I will explain this and if Michael wants to add something to it. So it's basically your domain, right? Your website, but it's reversed.
So what this means is if you're an individual and you're making your own app, your organizational unit organizational identifier that you could use here is like whenever I was making my own apps before I associated them with any organization, I used com.michaeldoise because I own michaeldoise.com. So you'll see a lot of apps from Apple will say com.apple.appname. And if you've ever been browsing your computer and you see that structure, that reverse domain structure, that's what that is.
Yep.
It's how we and Android does the same thing. It's how we identify packages. So the way that this works is you have your entire app name to Apple is your reverse domain com dot whatever dot app name, and that's your full reverse identify your full app identifier. So let's for this one let's do com.techopolis.
Yes. So I'm gonna do
com.techopolis online is what we
Yep.
want to do.
And if it was like online, right, like a Techopolis online, it'd be online.techopolis. So, it's just that reverse name. So let me go ahead and do com.
COM.TECHOPOLISONLINE.
You kind of type
Com.
that a lot.
Techopolis Online.
Okay. Then I'm going to VO right.
Com. Techopolis Online. My test app bundle identifier.
So you see that we have the bundle identifier and that puts it all together in one string. That's what that means. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to VO right again.
None. Testing system. Pop-up button.
We're going to keep this at none. This would be like if you're going to run automated testing. We won't cover that right now.
None. Storage. Pop-up button.
We will
cover this definitely later. This is how we store data in the app.
Yep.
Host and CloudKit dimmed unchecked checkbox.
This is for iCloud sync. So if you've ever had apps that have like stored things in iCloud, like documents and things, it's using CloudKit. We will not cover this right now. It'll probably be covered later. Okay. I'm going to VO right once more.
Cancel button. Previous button. Next default button.
Next.
An open dialog icon view collection.
And I'm
source control. Source control.
Oh, source control. So this would be like for if you ever use like Git or other version control systems. We won't be covering like what is Git and like the foundations of that in this course, correct, Michael?
Correct.
But that is something that many development teams use, including ours.
Create Git repository on my Mac. Checked checkbox.
This is by default checked, right? Just a Git repo that's tracked locally. Again, we won't cover all of that. Do you want me to uncheck it for this, Michael?
Just leave it checked. If it's set for you folks by default, just leave it checked.
Yeah.
And the reason is it will be beneficial for you later on.
Yep. It encourages good habits.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna VO right once more.
Xcode will place your project under source control dimmed.
And it even explains what this option is. So there's always great help options available from Apple.
New folder button.
Let's see. This is where I get to save it.
Hide options button. Cancel button.
So you're going to have to go back to the left to change the folder location.
Yes.
Hide new folder. Xcode will create Git source control. Icon view collection. Search text vertical splitter.
Let's see. Where am I gonna
Desktop.
save
iCloud where. Pop-up button menu.
this? I'm just gonna.
iCloud drop developer. Developer.
So I like to have a developer folder. And Michael, do you want to talk about this? Because this is an interesting thing, the way it does it visually.
Well, this is not your developer folder here. This looks like a developer folder from Apple. But
whoops, good to know.
yeah, I would go ahead and save it to the desktop for now. But
Okay.
I always recommend people create a developer folder in your home folder on your Mac. And Apple even recognizes that as a developer folder, gives it a special icon, and then I even add it to my sidebar.
But since I just reset up my
Menu,
Mac today.
Library. Taylor users. Taylor's MacBook developer. Checkmark developer.
Oh, weird. Okay, so let me.
Library. Taylor Command Shift H.
I don't have
Users.
my desktop.
Taylor's MacBook Air. Developer.
Let me see. Do I just? Okay.
So go ahead and press escape.
Closing menu. Developer where.
And
Pop-up
what you're going to
button.
want to do is go ahead and go back. Your sidebar is available, so if you may have to flick or via left
Yeah.
to get to it.
Change the item group grid view menu forward, dimmed, but back, sidebar, table, no selection. Sidebar,
Okay.
recents,
Let's see.
favorites, desktop, out of sidebar.
I'm going to save this to the desktop just for now. I don't really encourage people to do that though long term because that could get really messy if you've got a lot of projects.
Back, forward, grid view, change, desktop, vertical, search icon, source, create, Xcode will place your new folder, hide out, cancel, create, button.
And you notice it said desktop, right? So that way you know where it's going to be saved. And again, to navigate, I just press VO right, and I'm going to hit the create button. I'm just going to press VO space.
Xcode is not responding.
That's because it's
Preview
creating
source
a project.
editor, edit text, currently on.
So now I am actually in a real live project, folks. So this is code that we'll probably be talking about later on. But our duty right now is to get our device in developer mode. So I've already got it connected to my Mac. And I think, again, it's been a while since I've done this, so I have to, retrieve it from my memory here. I think I can go to the window menu and then devices, and I think I can connect it and compare it up that way. Is that correct, Michael?
What I would do to make it easier is find the run destination, which right now it's set to my Mac, and I would change that to your iPhone if it's plugged in.
It is plugged in. I just didn't know if that'd make it easier or.
Yeah, it's a bit faster because you don't have to bring up as many windows.
Got it. Okay.
Menu bar X edit view find nav edit product.
I'm just doing VO right, and then I did the VOM for the menu. I'm gonna press down arrow.
Product menu 21 test dim profile and archive build perform build clear stop build documentation command.
All I'm doing is pressing down arrow.
Show copy export import scheme destination submenu third.
Right arrow.
Select next. Select show all or check mark iOS Visionos any Mac manage choose destination control shift 0.
I have it plugged in. Just 1 second. Let me make sure it's unlocked. Yes. Oh, wait. Hold on. Part of it's plugged in, but not the actual phone to the Mac. The cord is plugged in, but the Mac or the phone is not connected to the cord. So yeah, always got to make sure that everything is in order. But this is what happens sometimes, folks.
Application alert system dialog Allow accessory to connect.
Yes.
Alert. Allow. Do you want? Don't allow default Xcode.
All right. So I just had to accept that dialogue. And I'm going to unlock my phone. Yes, you need to unlock your phone for this to work. I found this out the hard way multiple times. And then I have to trust this computer potentially. It's making me do that, so let me quickly fix that. Okay. And then I'm going to press down arrow.
//
Oh, wait. Oh, I guess it brought me out of the menu.
It did bring you out of the menu.
So guess what? We get to learn. We get to practice again.
Menu.
So remember VOM. I'm going to press right arrow.
Xcode.
Oh, wait. Actually,
Got it.
sorry. View.
Yeah, they're going 200 right now.
Somebody is unmuted. If you
If
could
I
please
have the
mute.
rune axe, I could either level it up tomorrow and try to get more shadow wood
And
keep selling, or
yeah,
I could just leave it
please
as it
mute
is
if you're
and
in
collect
the
shadow
class.
wood. And
And I can't get to.
you know, eventually I will get the bow. She has to know that, but I have to do.
There we
It's
go.
Maria Reyes. There you go.
We got it. Thank you. All right. Continue, Taylor.
Okay. So I'm going to do let me just escape so I can get my thought here. VOM.
Menu bar Apple.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think. Okay, here we go.
Menu X file.
So I'm just doing VO right.
Edit. Edit product.
Product. Down arrow.
Protest. Dipro and arc. Bill click stop. Bill show copics imp ski destination submenu.
Right arrow.
Select show check iOS iPhone any Mac iPhone iOS 26.0 is not installed.
Interesting.
Any man choose destination any iPhone iOS 20.
Interesting how it's saying it's not installed, but yep, my iPhone has iOS 26.
So what it's saying there, and this is good for everybody to know, Taylor just reset her Mac, okay? And what most likely has happened is the system support for iOS 26 has not been installed.
Uh-oh.
So go ahead and select that, and let's see what happens.
Closing menu, source editor.
Okay. I selected it by pressing enter.
So again, let's go through this. So she went to the product menu in the menu bar, went to destination, and then picked her iPhone. And it will say the version of iOS. Now, in theory, what should happen, actually, interestingly, in the toolbar next to destination, there is a Get button available. So Taylor went to the menu bar to get to the destination, but you can also do that from the toolbar in Xcode. So let's go ahead and look at what that looks like.
All right. Let me think. Okay, so I'm gonna VO.
Stop interacting with what you're. Yep.
Yep. So I had to think about how I was gonna convey it to students. VO
Out
up.
of content view. Swift. Out of editor area. Navigate toolbar.
Here's the toolbar. I'm doing VO left. VO down arrow to interact.
And tool coding
shift down arrow.
assistant. Radio.
Thank you.
Run/stop group.
VO down.
And run/stop.
Nope.
Wait.
Nope. Keep going over. So stop interacting.
Okay, I thought I heard run/stop, so I was like, oh, maybe that's it.
Out of run my test app. Main branch chooser button group. Actions
That's the name of our
available.
app. Let's keep going.
Activity view group.
So the activity view group is where we want to be. And what this has is it has the name of our scheme and the destination, kind of like what we had in the menu bar. So let's interact with that.
I've actually never been in here.
An activity view group. 2 items path list.
Okay. So we have a list. You could interact with that. VO right arrow.
Get button.
So I feel like that could be a little bit better done.
Yeah.
So go ahead and VO space on that Get button.
Downloads window.
Okay.
Okay. So if you look at that downloads window, you'll see the progress.
iOS 26.0 Simulator, 23A343, 216.2 MB of 7.99 GB, 3% shaded. iPad and iPhone image, 3% progress indicator, close button.
So it says
Okay.
that. It says that, but it's
Uh-oh.
already a good way through. But it was reading what it needed to do so far. Now, we're trying something new with this course, and I think we've got a good rhythm going here. And what I think we're going to do is I was planning to share my screen and have Taylor share her screen to do accessibility related concepts. However, what I think we're going to do is in future lessons, we're not going to do that. And what we're going to do is have Taylor drive the ship. And then when I want to show visual concepts, what we'll do is Zoom has this cool feature called Take Control.
Oh, yes.
And so I can take control of Taylor's machine and I can then do things on her computer. So that's how we're going to make this a hybrid approach course. Okay.
It's going to be really cool.
Yes. So we're going to talk for a few minutes while this gets downloaded, and we'll get that going. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, Michael. And you notice that there's no tones for voiceover to say if it's almost done. So I just found that interesting. But go ahead.
And it's already almost halfway done. We have a pretty good internet connection.
We do.
Which is very useful for my Xbox game downloads. So what's happening here is we're downloading the simulator support files for iOS 26. Now, I want to also mention here that this is 7 gigs for one version of one operating system.
Yes, Xcode is a huge space hog.
So you're looking at downloads for iOS 26, macOS 26, visionOS 26, watchOS 26, tvOS 26, and all the other 26s. But what happens when 26.1 comes out? Then you have visionOS 26.1, iOS 26.1, macOS 26.1, watchOS 26.1, and they're all about 7 gigs.
Some are even more.
Then what happens when 26.2 comes out?
Oh,
Then
man.
you compound on top of all of that. Okay.
Yes.
And when you're in the beta cycle, you get download support files for all of the different beta versions. Now, here's the problem. Xcode does not delete these things for you, okay? So it gets very, very, very busy, okay? So we are still downloading. We're about 3/4 of the way done, but what I want to do is take this opportunity, if I can figure out where my button is for this, and I would like to take questions. What questions do you have so far? Please raise your hand if you have any questions. We'll give folks a few minutes. Excuse me.
Or if you cannot raise your hand, Michael, are you able to monitor chat?
I am slightly monitoring chat.
Okay. I had to turn off all my alerts so I wouldn't go crazy with voiceover.
That's totally fine. Hey, at least you can do that now. That's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Zoom. Us as new window.
Okay. I don't know where that came from, but anyway.
We have some hands.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Christopher.
How are you doing, everybody? Yeah, so actually a quick comment. Great stuff so far. A quick comment about the progress bar. The reason why you don't hear it is because you're on the cell itself. You have to interact in the cell, and then you will find the bar there, and it should keep click, click, click if you have your just FYI for everybody else who's wondering what is going on. So
Good to
then
know.
you can
Fantastic.
see,
Thank you.
so then you can see everything going on. Oh yeah, don't worry. I've been using Mac since 14, so I know how it all. And I've
Well, we
been
appreciate it. We
So,
appreciate it.
so I can give feedback if needed. So there we go.
All right. Okay. And we have Michael.
Great intro. I guess my question is, can you go over real quick why I need to sign in with Xcode? Because I guess I'm a little confused on what the reasoning for having to sign in is. Because you can download and do stuff. Like I'm downloading Xcode right now from the App Store. I can download and do stuff in Xcode without any problems, without signing in. So why do I need to sign in?
Great question. And I'm glad you asked. The reason is that when you download Xcode and you run Xcode, you can run things on your Mac all day and all night. You can run things in the simulator all day and all night. Okay. But the reason why you sign in with a free Apple developer account, it says that it basically notarizes your app on the fly and says to your phone, hey, this can be trusted. You don't have to worry. This is an okay individual. It basically tells your phone, it makes that handshake with your phone that says, this Apple ID has built this app and you're signed into that Apple ID. So you should be able to run on this phone that's registered with Apple. You do have to register the phone with Apple along with setting up developer mode, and we'll
Okay.
show you where to go to do that. So both steps are required to make apps run on your phone, and you can run apps in the simulator. VoiceOver will work. But I feel like it's much more effective for VoiceOver users to try it on an actual device. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay. We have one more. We have two more hands.
Let's do those.
And I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Jajosh? Jajesh? If you'd like to unmute.
Hi, I'm Dijesh. My name is Dijesh. Jijes. So,
Okay.
I see that a team can participate with the Xcode development. So, is it accessible with the iPads also?
So
with VoiceOver?
So on the iPad, what you'll do is you'll use Swift Playgrounds, and when you run your app in Swift Playgrounds, it creates an environment to run the app on the iPad, which is much simpler than what we're doing here. And the only reason that you need to sign in on the iPad is to send your app to TestFlight or to send it to App Store Connect.
Okay. And can I also collaborate with the other team also while doing the development? Is it supported by VoiceOver, both iPad and Mac?
So collaboration is going to be a little different for using the iPad. You basically would have to save your files in a Dropbox folder or OneDrive or iCloud Drive or somewhere for other people to try your code. And we'll get into that later on. But you can still use you can still develop if you're using a playground.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Melissa.
So, hey guys, I was installing, well, I was going to do Xcode and it said I needed to update my Mac to 15.7 or Tahoe, which I just am in the process. I just did it. Is that normal
Yes.
behavior?
Yes.
Okay.
Xcode requires a fairly recent version of macOS,
Okay.
just so it supports the latest features.
Okay.
So that is pretty standard for Xcode.
So you were mentioning earlier how, all these different versions, how they, take more and more room. Is there a way to get rid of the older stuff? I mean, I've never done it on a Mac to try to delete older stuff.
That's a
anyways.
great question, and we're going to get to that
Okay.
after we finish this process here.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay, it does not look like we have any more hands. We'll take hands at a later time for more questions. So, Taylor, it looks like your download is complete, and so you could interact and find out if that download is done, or you could just go ahead and close the window.
No show
All right,
inspect.
did I close it?
Yes, you did.
I just pressed escape, y'all.
Okay, so it is now installed. So let's go and find, you could either go to the menu bar or find the run button in that group earlier that we found.
Or I could press the shortcut called Command R.
Well, I'd say that, but it's actually still, I'm looking at it and it's still saying it's preparing automatic simulator. So it's, these things are never fast. So let's show people real quick how they can go in and check the devices and organize those things that they have, which is in the window menu.
All right. I think there's a keyboard shortcut, but I'm blanking out on it. I want to say it's Command 2, but I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Menu.
Okay, so let me hold on a second. I'm gonna do my VOM. I'm gonna right arrow, VO.
Xcode. Edit. View. Snap editor. Product. Debug. Integrate. Window.
Window, down arrow.
Window. Menu. 20. Zoom. Minimize. Zoom. Fill. Send. Move under. Full. Remove. Rename window. Show previous. Show. Move. Tab. Merge. Developer documentation. Command Shift 0. Welcome to Xcode. Command Shift 1. Devices and simulators. Command Shift 2.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was kind of right. Command Shift 2.
Yep.
Now in Devices. Window. Devices. Selected. Toggle button.
So from here, Taylor can go through and view the devices that she has installed or the simulators. So let's go over one and go to simulators.
Okay, I'm gonna VO right. Maybe.
Simulators. Toggle button.
Select that. VO space.
Selected. Simulators. Toggle button.
Now, this brings up a big list of simulators. So let's go look at some of these.
All right.
Table. Row 2 of 12. iPad. A16. Circellist simulator image. Selected.
So I'm gonna interact.
And table. Row 2 of 12. iPad. A16. Circellist simulator image. Selected iPad. A16. Circellist simulator
Go down
image.
arrow.
Level 1. Level
Okay.
1. iPad Air 11-inch. M3. Circellist simulator image.
Keep going down.
Action iPad Air 13-inch. M3. Circellist simulator
Keep
image.
going.
iPad Pro 13-inch. M4. Circellist simulator image.
Keep going.
Actions available. iPad Mini A17 Pro. Circellist simulator image.
One more.
iPhone 16e. Circellist
Okay.
simulator image. iPhone 17. Circellist simulator image.
So let's stop
Actions
there.
available.
There's a total of 11 simulators that are installed. This allows you to test on all of the different screen sizes that are available to you in using the iPhone, the simulator. Okay. Now, I want to show one thing real quick. You can go between devices and simulators fairly quickly here. Okay. Taylor, can you make it where I can take control real quick?
Yes, I could do that.
Zoom. Us.
Let's see.
Audio. Stop video part. Chat. Mode. Pause. Layout. Annotate. Remote control.
Oh,
Give
Oh.
control. Give share clip. Give mouse / search. Search participants and Michael Doise. Out of
hold on.
participants and Michael Doise. Remote control.
Had to make sure I didn't select the wrong person. Okay.
All right. So what we also get over here on the right side is the device information. Like we get iPhone 17, iOS 26.0, and the model of the build number. You can tell it show run destination. You can turn those off. Model identifier. So all these things are here. And then if we go under
Toolbar item palette iPhone.
if we go under
Discover,
devices,
One item enclosed.
we can see her iPhone
level
here.
1. Toolbar item
And
split group.
VoiceOver is
Toolbar
reading
split group.
what's under my
Split
cursor.
group.
It is still loading details. There is Xcode has already started pairing with iPhone. Follow the instructions on iPhone to continue to complete setup. So you may have information now on your phone, and I'm doing this for brevity so that we can kind of move through some of this because we have a few more things to show. So Taylor, let's see if your iPhone on the lock screen has some things that we can do now,
Not on the lock screen.
or on the home screen.
Not there either.
Interesting, because that's what it's saying.
Yeah, I have nothing. I did trust
Split
the
group.
computer.
Split group.
Okay,
Toolbar
let's
item
unplug your
palette.
iPhone
Split group.
and plug it back in.
Unplug,
Empty table.
plug in.
iPhone. Busy progress indicator. iPhone. Busy progress indicator.
Okay,
Table. No selection.
so here's what I want you to do is to go find your
Scroll
iPhone
table.
in the right
Row 2
column.
scroll area.
Find your iPhone in the right column and then see what it tells you. I want you to show VoiceOver users.
Okay, so I don't know where you put me, Michael, so.
Connected. Expand. iPhone level 1. iPhone level and iPhone content selected level 1. Edit text. Image.
You're still on the table.
Image. Out
Okay.
iPhone level.
Do you want me to go via right?
Let's try that.
Nope.
iPhone
I
level.
gotta stop interacting.
Stop interacting.
Out of vertical scroll area.
Okay.
And scroll iOS 26.0, 23A345.
Keep going through the
Show
information.
run
And
destination. Automatic pop-up button.
so that's where you see if you show it in the run destinations. Keep that on automatic.
Model. Take screenshot button.
So you can take a screenshot of your iPhone screen here and save it to your desktop, which is really convenient.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Capacity. Unknown.
Unknown, huh? Wow.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Serial number. Open
Let's keep
recent
going.
logs
I'm
button.
like, I'm not gonna read that aloud.
Identifier. 000081.
Keep going.
Open console. But errors and warnings.
Keep going.
Table. No selection.
So interact with the table.
And table. Row 1 of 1. Developer mode disabled. To use iPhone for development, enable developer mode and settings. Right arrow privacy and security. Error image. Selected developer mode disabled. To use iPhone for development, enable
There we go. Okay, so what we've learned here so far is this is how to enable developer mode and to get that going. So if Taylor, if you want to go ahead and stop screen sharing, and we can continue after that. And
I need to stop screen sharing. You want me to do
yeah,
that?
it's up to you. If you want to keep it going, you can. So if you want to keep it going, that's fine. If not,
Yeah,
you can stop screen sharing. That's up to you. But you're
Okay,
going to do the next part over the phone. So why don't you explain to folks what you're doing? I'm just going to move my focus off of your screen.
Desktop group.
Oops. Okay. So I'm gonna go to settings. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sharing this part. I'm gonna go to settings and then privacy. Maybe. Hold on. I keep my phone pretty quiet. That way my voiceover is not going blaring loud. Okay, I'm gonna find the let's see. I found developer mode. It's under security. So you can navigate by headings and find security and then go VO right. Or sorry, not VO right. Huh, bleh. Swipe right. My bad. Yep, I know my device security will be reduced. I hit the checkbox or the switch, and then it says restart your device. I'm gonna hit restart, and boom, you heard the power off chime. So now my device is restarting, and I should be able to be getting developer mode enabled very shortly once it reboots. I think anyway, it's restarting. There it goes. I just felt the vibration and I see the Apple logo. And then I will log in with Face ID and I will go to my lock screen. But first, I have this ready to enable developer mode. It's a swipe up to continue. Okay, I just swiped up to continue. Yes, I'm sure I want to enable developer mode. Okay, and then it wants my passcode. I'm gonna hold on. Hold on a second. Try this. Okay. Let me just get rid of this passcode and then we'll be good to go. Okay. And it's restarting a second time, or like not restarting, but kind of, sort of. Okay, there we go. I do think I have developer mode enabled now. Oh, goodness gracious, I want my passcode again. Okay. And then I'll be able to log in the passcode and we'll be good to go. And boom, I have my device unlocked and developer
Empty table.
ready. Michael?
Okay, so the reason why it's an empty table is because the status of your device has changed to allow for developer mode. So now let's test it. Let's go ahead and close the organizer window and let's find that, go to the product menu and let's try to run it.
Okay, so let me, oh, no, maybe not, hold on.
Out vertical text.
Just do your left.
Close, but
Close.
show inspector button.
Okay, product menu.
Actions available.
VOM, right arrow, view right.
Xcode. Add view, find, editor,
Down
product.
arrow.
Analyze, archive, build, build, clear, stop, build, doc, show, build, copy, export, import, scheme, destination,
Right
submenu.
arrow.
Destinate, select, show all my Mac, iPhone.
Here's iPhone.
Closing menu.
And then I think I can press Command R, which is a shortcut to run the app.
Run.
Let's see what it does.
Revoke certificate. Your account already has an Apple Development Signing Certificate for this machine, but its private key is not installed in your keychain. Xcode can create a new one after revoking your existing certificate.
Oh boy, Michael.
Yes, you do want to do that.
Do you want to explain what this is?
Sure. So you have to sign your apps. Even for use on your own phone, you have to sign your apps. And it will ask you to create a certificate, and it will prompt you to enter your system password about 2,000 times. I exaggerate there. It's still a lot. It's like 5 to 10 times sometimes. So the always allow button is very useful if that's an option. But in this case, Taylor just reset her Mac. So she needs a new certificate. Now, in previous versions of Xcode, this had to be done manually, but Apple's so wonderful, amazing, and not Google that they do this for you. So let's go ahead and do it. There should be a revoke certificate button.
And yes, you will get an email in your Apple ID. And, fair warning, if for some reason somebody, the email is shared with somebody else who is not a developer, they may freak out. So I'm just letting you know. True story. But anyway, I'm going to VO right.
Cancel, revoke certificate, default.
Actually, VO left because I was already at the cancel button. We don't want to do that.
My test app, an alert dialog, cancel button. Device iPhone isn't registered in your developer account. The device must be registered in order to be included in a provisioning profile.
Do you want to talk about what a provisioning profile is? We have all these crazy terms, don't we, Michael?
Sure. Provisioning profiles are something you really don't have to worry about these days. But what they are is you have several things that you have when you build apps. You have your app identifier, which is your bundle ID. It's essentially your team ID, which you get from App Store Connect, and your bundle ID. That is your app identifier. Xcode will create its own identifiers as wildcards, so you don't have to really worry about that anymore either, okay? And then your provisioning profile says these apps can be used on these devices because they've been provisioned and they have these capabilities. And so that is something we'll talk about as well. In these, we're going to basically use this same project for all three parts of the class. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go along. This is basically the provisioning profile says this app can use these capabilities and it's provisioned to work on these devices, whether it be your own devices or through the App Store. So that's the purpose of a provisioning profile.
Thank you.
Cancel register device. Closing dialog show inspector button. Actions available.
Why did voiceover focus there? Okay.
That was the last place you were whenever
Security
you were in the
application. System dialog. Co-design wants to access key Apple development. Taylor Arndt, Techopolis Online Solutions, LLC, in your keychain. To allow this, enter the login keychain password.
So there might be some confusion as to why Taylor's account says Taylor Arndt.
Yeah.
Teresa is her mother's name. And when you start your Apple account as a child account, it is very difficult to get all of those little strands of your parents out of your child account.
It's actually impossible.
So Taylor's certificates still have listed her mother's name. So even though she is 26, right?
Yep, because I started developing apps at 14 years old, y'all.
Yep.
Tried to. Didn't work too well for me, but I did try to.
So that's why that happens. If you are underage and you start developing and you transition your account to an adult account, you too will have this problem.
So have fun.
Yep.
Okay,
So this is the point.
yeah.
This is the point where Taylor's going to have to enter her system password a bunch of times, unless you use the always allow, and then you may only have to do it
Password.
2 or 3 times.
I see. Hold on.
But password.
Wait, hold on. It didn't start typing.
Help. Always allow button. Xcode. My test app. Build succeeded. alert visual build image.
What?
Actions
I'm gonna do
available.
what?
That was a
In
weird.
dialog. Unlock iPhone to continue. Xcode cannot launch my closing dialog. Show inspector and dialog. The application could not be launched because the developer app certificate is not trusted.
Oh boy.
Verify that the developer app certificate for your account is trusted on your device. Open settings on the device and
Okay.
I've never seen that before. That's a new one for me.
An internet connection is required. I have an internet connection. Unable to verify app. Okay.
Okay, let's delete the app off your. Is the app showing on your phone?
Hold on. Actually, do I have to go into settings?
I have not seen this error before, so I am not fully sure. I would try to run the app again and let's see what happens. If not, then we'll have to follow the instructions on your Mac.
Hold on. Really quickly. I've seen something similar to this. Hold on. Maybe. Wait. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, let me see if it's on my phone real quick. It's not verified. It's not.
Okay, delete it from your phone.
Okay. That's strange.
This is a live demo, folks. You could just like certain other events that happened last week in live demos, you know.
Okay, I deleted it.
Okay, so let's try to run it again and see if we get the same issue.
You've never seen this before.
Showed OK default, but my test app content view build succeeded system died. alert visual build image. The application could not be launched because the developer app certificate is not trusted. Verify that the developer app certificate for your account.
Oh boy.
So what are the buttons there? Let's see what we have.
An internet connection is required for your.
OK, show details, hide details. Text the application could not be launched because the developer app certificate is not trusted. Domain. launch Creativus. Code. 0. Recovery suggestion. Verify that the developer app certificate for your account is trusted on your device. Open settings on the device and navigate to General, greater than VPN and Device Management. Then select your developer app certificate to trusted. User info. Left brace.
That's new. That is very new. I have never seen that before. So let's try that on your phone, Taylor. And I guess you manually have to trust your own certificate now. This is something new, I guess, in 26. They keep making more and more security levels for developers to test on your devices, folks. So this is a new step, apparently, that has to be followed. To be fair, I have not set my new phone up under development at this on Xcode on my machine either. So I guess this is something that I'll find as well.
VPN device management. I don't see any certificates. Hold on.
Is there anything under that section?
I just see VPN. not connected, sign into work or school. What am I doing wrong?
Very
Wait.
interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and go to OK on your Mac. And let me try a few things on my end.
Hide the text the app. OK dialog. OK default
Oh.
button. Actions of
I'm gonna
canvas
take control.
source
Whoa. Okay.
desktop group.
And
Run
what I'm
menu
going to
button.
do.
My test app activity view group icon filter popover table row NEIO image. Show
I'm gonna select
inspector
Taylor's phone.
button. Toolbar item stop run menu project issues radio issue navigator
No issues.
project radio button toolbar my test app run build succeeded unlock canvas pause
Oh,
dialog.
well, I unlocked you and you just said, okay, I'm unlocked. I got
In
the same
dialog,
problem.
the application could not be launched but verify that the developer app certificate show details button dialog. Might
Very
closing
interesting.
body activity jump bar group actions available activity view group preparing automatic iPhone simulator vertical line booting.
Okay, it looks like the simulator
Toolbar
on the
item
computer
palette.
has crashed. So,
Desktop
Fun
group
times, huh?
voice over Xcode open.
okay.
Canvas pause
I'm going to
refresh
close
canvas
the window.
button toolbar item palette. Source editor edit text currently on line 2 close button. Desktop group.
So,
Desktop group.
I'm going to go back to Xcode.
VoiceOver Xcode now and welcome desktop empty column.
So
Close
in
button
this welcome window that we have always comes up, and I tell people don't disable the welcome window because it has all of your recent projects. So I could go and either click on, or I can either click on, or I can use VoiceOver to find my test app.
My test app.
And I can double click or view space on it.
Over. Might close, but source editor edit text, Xcode. Supercharge your Xcode. Intelligence. Xcode source editor edit text,
Okay,
current
we don't
my
need
test
that right
app,
now.
main, branch chooser, run, build succeed. Unlock iPhone to continue. Xcode cannot launch my test app on iPhone because the device is locked. Source editor and dialog, show details, button //.
So there is a bug that we're going to have to work out why she's not able to run her code on her phone. So that is peculiar.
Jump bar group, activity view group.
So what we can
Jump bar,
do.
activity view group, finished running my test app on iPhone. Activity view group notices button.
Notices
and
button.
Scroll area. 5 item. Xcode Cloud helps you build high quality apps. Run automated tests and source editor edit text toolbar item activity view group activity view group activity iPhone active run my test app active.
One of the things that, and I don't know if we can fix this, but in Zoom, it reads what's under the cursor with VoiceOver, which is very verbose.
Toolbar item palette, my test app.
So we will have to diagnose what's going on there. So this is the steps, folks, that you have to do. We will figure out what's going on because, honestly, Taylor has a work day tomorrow, and she's got to develop apps. So she's got to figure out why she can't run this on her phone. So this is going to be the first thing on her agenda for her work day tomorrow.
Well, or Michael will have to help me.
Yes, one of the two. So we will have a solution for this, and we'll come back with a result. Okay, we are already at 8:37. I want to do a visual overview of the Xcode window, and then I'm going to have Taylor do the same with VoiceOver. Taylor, if you would not mind turning off VoiceOver for this.
Turn off VoiceOver. Yeah, let me do that.
VoiceOver off.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we have talked about the welcome dialogue. You can create a new project, you can open a project, and we'll go into that more next week. But we have a project open here, okay? We have a project, when it's open, has 3 main regions. We have the navigators, we have the editor, and we have, well, we can have 4. We can have the canvas, and we have the inspectors. The inspectors, think of those as a right sidebar. And they have information about the file and other information about what we're working on. As the team identifier, the name of the file, type, a lot of information here, the target that it is set to build for, and things like that. Now, if you notice visually, there's another area here, and that's kind of the a mini map of your code. I don't care for the mini map, so I turn that off. And honestly, you have the canvas here, which you can use to view your app. And that's great for visual users. I typically turn that off too. The less distractions that you have, the better this is going to work. So with SwiftUI, you don't even really need to use the inspectors. So goodbye. See you later.
Wait, did you get rid of them?
I did. So they were off by default already. So I just went ahead and turned them off there as well.
How did you do that? Can you explain?
Yes, so, and I'll show you with that. It's up in the, remember where it says show inspectors button whenever you were focused earlier?
Yeah.
That's what it was doing.
Okay.
So, and the interesting thing is your preview is not showing up either. So it just has, on the preview, it just is spinning and is not showing the contents of the preview.
There was an error earlier, it said failed to get preview.
So that's interesting. Also here in the canvas, you could even set automatic and iPhone 17 Pro. I could click on this. I could go to my Mac, iPad, all these different sizes, and iPhone 17 Pro. So we're just going to select that. Also visually, if you're using low vision or full vision, you can make this window a bit bigger. And that really helps to get a better sense of what you're looking at too. Because then you get your editor and all the different areas that you're looking at. Now, the other thing, and I don't know if you do this, Taylor, but you can also turn off the left sidebar to give yourself more room as well. The button to do this is the right after the maximize button, and it's right below the Swift Assist or the intelligence button, and that hides even your navigators. And so all you have here is your code.
I didn't do that yet because I just reset this Mac up. So yeah.
I didn't know if that's something you use or not.
Yeah, I do. I just don't remember a lot of times how to enable or disable the settings.
Okay, for visual users, you can use, when you're in the editor, you can use your arrow keys just like, you know, any text editor. I can use, you know, the shift and the arrow keys, you know, select by line. I can do shift right arrow to, you know, go by characters and things like that. I can copy and paste text just as I am used to. And I can add breakpoints on each line if I want to for debugging. And I can even turn on a debug console here at the bottom of the screen to show that as well. Typically, that will show on its own if there's debug information. And at the very bottom of the window, there is a button to bring up the debug console or to hide that. Okay. Which now I brought it up, I'm looking for how to make it go away.
Command Shift C is also a keyboard command to do that.
Command Shift C. give it a shot. If you can press that for me, because it is not working on my end.
Okay, let me try to do this without voiceover. What'd it do?
It did not do it, but I found the button, so I'm going to do that.
But it normally works. Obviously, I don't have voiceover, so who knows what I pressed.
So we can edit our code. The last thing I want to show you, so we have our editor. We can also, in our navigators over here, we have several. The first one is the project navigator. We have where you can click on the project. We've got groups. You can rename your project there. That's kind of cumbersome. We can change files in this group, and Taylor will show how to do all this with VoiceOver very shortly. And I can also change project settings by going on the project name. We'll go into all of this during next class. But the ones to remember are the File Navigator and the Issues Navigator. The Issues Navigator looks like this, and we'll see what it's like to have issues in the Issues Navigator next time. Okay? So, basically, I just kind of wanted to show what those things look like. These are how to get to them. And this is the Project Explorer where you can explore your project. We'll go into that in more detail next time as well. And those are the three main parts of the Xcode window. Of course, we already talked about the toolbar at the top. So those are the main areas. So I will go ahead and let Taylor take it away and show us the same things that I did, but with VoiceOver.
All right, you might have to prompt me a little bit, Michael, because I'm trying to remember.
VoiceOver on Xcode. My test app.
Michael?
Sorry, we want to show the file navigator, kind of what it's like to see files in that area.
The projects?
Yep, project navigator. Yep.
Okay, so to navigate to the project navigator, as they say, right, the navigator where you can see different parts of your project, there are these little keyboard shortcuts, and they can simply be accomplished with Command 1. So,
Project.
okay, via right.
Verticals project and target list out.
Wait, where am I at here? Okay, so I'm at the project list.
Project editor tab chooser group.
Okay.
Project editor navigation bar but
I'm just going
You're
via
actually
left.
in the edit. Yeah, you're in the editor, and you want to probably find the table.
Yeah, that's
showing
what
all
I'm
the
trying to
files.
do. That's what I'm trying to do.
jump bar group jump bar group.
Wait, I am not where I need to be. Hold on.
Project navigator table row 1 of 5. My test app project selected.
That's better. Sometimes I had to do it twice. Sometimes this happens, folks. So I can press down arrow.
My test app group assets scasets folder
Those are like app icons and such.
content view Swift source.
That's like the main source of your app. Michael, do you want me to go through this table or should I go something else?
Yeah, show the table off real quick because our visual users could see that. So let's go ahead and go through. Just show the different files there.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep going.
My underscore test underscore app Swift source.
That's the main like entry point. We'll get into all the code later. But again, I'm just pressing down arrow to get through these, y'all. And
Content my underscore test underscore app.
is that it?
Yep, there was only 5 items. So there's an app has very few files, and we'll talk about what those are later. I know I'm teasing a lot here, but we're going to go through a lot of information in this course, and I think we've already gone through a lot today. But
Yeah.
let's show how to get to the issues navigator.
So let's say that I decided I was going to make an issue, right? Let's say I decided I was going to misspell something, just so you guys would have to find the issues navigator. Okay, so how would you do that? Well, remember the keyboard shortcuts I was talking about just a second ago for command? You could do the same thing here. So I'm going to do
empty table.
Command 3, and you heard empty table. Well, why is it empty? because we have no issues. And trust me, if it's not empty, you have issues. And if it says table with 100 rows, well, you probably have over 100 issues. Yes, this happens to me all the time. So remember, that's command 3 that will navigate you to the issues navigator.
And Taylor, isn't there an issues rotor as well if you're in the editor?
Ooh, you know what? There is. And I got to remember. I think I could do command. Hold on 1 second.
You have to be in the editor
Oh,
for
yeah.
it to work.
I probably should
And
be.
there would have to be issues to see.
Oh, yeah.
So when we get into some code, then we'll generate some issues so you can see that.
I think I could do the VO shift U and then I could. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that later. So let's select content view and hop over there and show people the editor and how it looks to navigate that with VoiceOver.
So, of course, you're wondering, how do I get back to the project navigator? Remember what I just said? You're going to do command 1.
Project navigator table, row 5 of 5, my underscore test on content view. Swift source.
I went up arrow. I'm going to VO right arrow.
Menu button. Project navigate.
Actually, no, I got to stop interacting.
Out zoom. Zoom share tool.
Right. I'm not sure where my focus just went.
Audio sub menu.
Hold on 1 minute. I think I got back into Zoom somehow.
Zoom. Finder. Xcode. Zoom. Start video button.
Michael, what's going on?
Source editor. Edit text. Toolbar source editor.
Michael?
Edit / desktop.
I was muted.
Group.
You keep getting bumped out of Zoom or out of Xcode into Zoom. So your Xcode is still there. So just go ahead and Command Tab back over to Xcode.
I wonder why I keep getting bumped out. Hold on, let me try.
Zoom. Xcode. My test app. Content view. Swift window. Navigator group.
Okay, there you go.
Am I in it?
Yes, you're in.
Nope.
Editor area group.
Interact.
An editor.
Wait.
Debug by content view. Swift.
So this is kind of like the editor, right? There's 2 different panes, or there could be, right? So depending on how many files you have open. So you got to interact with the file itself. So
And content view.
Interact. And
scroll area. Var body.
And I just press VO right to get to the scroll area.
Struct content view. View left brace.
And here's the content view content.
And this is a scroll view, but basically it works just like any text editor. Once you interact with that, then you should be kind of locked into that editor, I think.
That is correct.
And then you could use that just like any other editor. Now, in office hours, Taylor can show you some great techniques for changing where you could read indentations and other things as well. So I would look at those options for setting VoiceOver and an activity for Xcode so that it could read potentially line numbers, right?
Yes. But again, you guys should come to my office hours and you guys will learn a lot about configuring VoiceOver.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then in the toolbar, you can go and find the Show Inspector button. Let's do that real quick, and then we'll wrap up for the day.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop interacting with everything, pretty much. So,
Out of it.
2 interact.
Navigator toolbar.
I'm going to interact with toolbar.
And toolbar. 6 items. Navigators. Selected. Radio button. Coding assistant. Radio run / stop.
I'm just pressing VO right.
My test app. Main. Brand activity view. Show inspector button. Actions available.
Okay, I shown inspector.
So then the inspectors will show up. Let's go ahead and find it. So it's going to be in probably another area after the editor scroll areas and all those things.
It's the very right. So I'll show you. I'm going to stop interacting here.
Out of tool. Navigator. Editor area.
So remember, you got your navigator, you've got your editor areas.
Vertical splitter. Inspector group.
And you've got 2 vertical splitter markers. And then if I interact here, this is the inspector.
And then history.
We don't need these right now, but I'm just showing you, like, that's how you get to things.
Yep. And like you could look at what we showed visually, the files information, the target that it's connected to, all of those things here as well. Okay. Thank you, Taylor, for the screen share. We've got about 9 minutes left. We did use the whole time.
Holy moly, let's do some questions, probably, right?
So, yep, let's go ahead and stop your screen share and then we'll take questions.
All right, let me
Zoom.
figure out how to.
Us. Zoom.
All right, am I stop sharing?
You stop sharing. Yep. Let's take some hands and then I'm going to read some chats that we have.
All right, let's do it.
Anybody with a question, raise your hand. Okay, we've got a hand. We have Fenton, I believe.
Yes, hi.
Hi
Can you
there.
hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm new to Mac OS and all that stuff, so appreciate the opportunity here. I heard earlier that if I have an iPad, I don't have a Mac. If I have an iPad, I cannot plug in the iPhone into it. Is that?
That's correct. If you do not have, if you have an iPad, then you have to run the app that you create as an iPad app. And that brings up a good point I want to talk about. And that is, if you make an app for iPhone or for iPad, it will run on, because of how SwiftUI works, your apps will run on both, which is an amazing way that Apple has done this. They use what are called size classes. So if you're on one, it will look good on the other. So as we develop, we'll talk about that.
And I do have a follow-up question. If
Okay.
I did have a Mac, and be able to plug into a phone, an iPhone, would a different person's iOS or Apple ID or whatever the new name is, be able to be used? Like say I borrow someone else's iPhone. I personally don't have an iPhone either. So can a
Technically,
different phone
yes.
be used?
Yes, but you would have to register it with your Apple developer account. And you get, at least on the paid versions, you get 100 new devices to register a year. I'm not sure how many devices you can register on the free plan.
I want to say it's 5 or 10, but please don't quote me.
Okay, so there are a few hurdles for me. Thank you, though.
Absolutely. Okay. Jim.
Hello. So a couple of quick questions. I have downloaded the Xcode to my Mac. Do I also need to download Swift Playgrounds?
The class is going to focus mainly on Xcode, and we found Swift Playgrounds on the Mac to have some issues with voiceover. So
Okay, so I don't need. I can do Swift in Xcode without the Playgrounds app.
correct.
And there's also something called Apple Developer that shows up as being an app I can download. I don't know.
Yes. Apple Developer is a resource library for Apple developer resources. So they have a lot of the WWDC videos. They have developer labs. They have all kinds of content in that app.
Oh, okay, so you mean resources
workshops.
like tutorial resources,
Correct.
not libraries I need to link to. Okay,
right.
So I don't need that. So all I really need is Xcode.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. And let's see. Raymond. You can unmute if you have a question.
Yes, sorry about that. My question is two things. Is there a way to, like, I had Xcode installed. I don't remember what I was doing with it, but I want to like clear it out and kind of start with a fresh install. If I just delete it, would it start with a new
It does
copy, so to
not.
speak?
It doesn't completely. So when you install Xcode, it puts files in your library folder, and it like there's a developer, there's an Xcode, there's several things. I would use an application like Clean My Mac or something else to easily get rid of everything. But that way it's kind of like starting from scratch. Believe it or not, too, the other thing you can do is ask ChatGPT, how do I get rid of all traces of Xcode from my computer? And it will tell you what folders to go and remove.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because I just want to, like, you guys are showing things from the beginning. I was like, I don't know what I was trying to do before, but
It's okay.
I just want to start fresh basically with it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then a second question really quick. It's the office hours. Are you going to make recordings of those for those of us that may not be able to make the office hours? I mean, I understand they're extra and, it's totally something you don't have to offer. So I was just curious.
Some of them I maybe would stream on my YouTube channel as like a promotional thing, but I could make recordings. It all depends on what Michael and the other students are, comfortability. Some people don't want to be recorded and things, so it all depends on what's being discussed. But if I'm doing like a workshop, yeah, I will record them. Is
Okay.
that good, Michael?
Yes,
guys.
that sounds great. Okay. All right. Thank you for all the wonderful questions, folks. It is now right at 9 o'clock. We will have another class next week. We'll go a little bit more into depth on Xcode. It'll be at the same time, same meeting link, and I'll be putting things on the platform all weekend. There will be an assignment, probably a quiz, kind of going over things that we've learned and some other information. So I would check that out, and I'll be posting throughout the weekend. And any resources that I find, I'm just going to put in the classroom in the stream. And we're going to go from there. But I feel like this has been more successful than I thought it would be. I want to thank everybody for being here or on the stream. I know we've gotten some chats on stream and some chat. I think there was actually a chat here in the room that I meant
That's what you're saying.
to get to. So let me check that. Does Taylor's phone have to be iOS 26 for this code to be run? Simulator is 26, so curious if that requires that to match. And Taylor's phone is 26 because she just got a new 17 Pro, so it's running on 26. So we're gonna have to diagnose what that is going on there, but we will figure that out and let everybody know next time. But that is everything, unless we have any last. Oh, we do have a hand. Evelyn.
Yes, can you repeat the office hours?
It will be at various times, usually in the evenings, unless Taylor has some time during the day.
Or email.
There will be
Send
a
an email.
Well, we won't be sending an email. We'll be using the stream in the Google Classroom to announce when there's office hours, and that will go to your email.
And you can also download the Classroom mobile app. In addition, there is a Google Calendar that is related to this class. And with that being said, there are dates that we will not have class due to holidays and other things as well. And some of those are already marked on the calendar.
Yes. Okay. I still have the problem with I don't have the Mac computer, but I'll see what happens during the course.
All right.
That's good.
Well,
Okay.
all right, guys.
Thank you.
I think I'm voiced out for the day. But we will continue on next week, and we'll have office hours, and I'll be posting this recording and other things to the platform under class materials. So thank you all for being here, and we'll be on next Thursday.
Have a wonderful week, y'all.